Hi, my name is Amy. I'm 18 years old and I am an Aboriginal girl from Ontario. Being 18, I was recently aged out of the foster care system, meaning that I am too old to live in group homes that are supported by the government. As a result, I am left to fend for myself with very little knowledge on how to perform life skills, such as cooking, managing my finances, or finding a job. In addition, growing up in the system, I was moved around from family to family, many of which were not Aboriginal. Therefore, I feel a lack of connection to my identity and roots. Not only am I at a disadvantage being a homeless youth in Canada, coming from an underprivileged foster care system, but being Aboriginal as well.
According to Canada Without Poverty, foster care is a service set up by provincial governments to create a temporary way to respond to an emergency and address the immediate needs of children and youth in crisis. For an average child, the foster care process begins when a child is removed from their home and enter the foster care system as a result of many issues such as abuse and neglect. For Indigenous children, however, the foster care system looks a lot different compared to what non-Indigenous children go through due to the overrepresentation of Indigenous children in foster care systems and the likelihood of loss of cultural identity. To begin, many Indigenous children are being taken away from their homes, parents, and communities as a result of the worsening economic status Canadian Indigenous people are in. Indeed, the Canadian government sees the imbalance between the economic status of Indigenous Canadians indicative of insufficient support for children, therefore taking them away from their care of the parents. Throughout the course of an Indigenous child's experience in the foster care, their own culture and preferred lifestyle is stripped away from them. Indigenous children are essentially stripped of their cultural identity and must assimilate to the culture of their new living arrangements and placement. In terms of the end of a child's journey in the foster care, what is also known as aging out, by the age of 18, statistics show that 65% of young adults are facing homelessness, 51% are unemployed, and 30% are unable to complete their education. For an already marginalized group, the rates of the consequences categorized as aging out of the system become amplified at an increasing rate for young Indigenous adults who were in foster care, furthermore resulting in the overrepresentation of Indigenous children.
Here are some stats to further shed light on this issue. Less than 10% of children in Canada identify as Aboriginal, but they account for 52% of all foster care children. Aboriginal children are more likely to be in the foster care system than their non-Aboriginal counterparts. 54% of Aboriginal children live with non-Aboriginal parents, and as a result are not able to adjust well and are stripped of their cultural identity. Indeed, dysfunctional family relations are one of the reasons for Aboriginal homelessness. 25 to 50% of homeless youth were previously placed in the foster care system. As it currently stands, the child welfare system is governed by federal and provincial laws, which do not make any changes or effort in supporting Aboriginal youth. Therefore, they are further marginalized within the Canadian system.
After teenagers age out of foster care, nearly 40% had been homeless or couch surf. Nearly 60% of young Indigenous men had been convicted of crime, and only 48% were employed. 50% of all youths who age out were involved in substance use, and 70% of female were pregnant. 25% do not have high school and diploma or GED. Eventually, Aboriginal youth are further marginalized within the Canadian system. After experiencing a lacking of resources within the foster care system that disallows them from further participating in the society.
What can be done? According to the International Federation of Social Workers, their definition of social work includes engaging people and structures to address life challenges and enhance well-being. To enhance well-being, putting programs in place where foster children are taught life skills earlier on can be done so when they grow out of the system, they know how to take care of themselves. Furthermore, they are forced to leave home at an early age before they have a chance to learn life skills and fully develop into healthy adults. Also, children are the most important piece of the Indigenous social structure, yet they are being removed from their homes and over half are placed in a non-Aboriginal home. What can be done is to ensure that children still have access to resources to keep intact with their culture so they do not lose their sense of identity.